over time there is a conflict. But the thing is, this conflict is only happen in few one of times because in the long run, this North Korea will not have any kind of position at all because they is even being destroyed by this sort of. Therefore, we believe that even under Musa's system, even general elections in the food that
Yes, UGM Prime Minister is 27 minutes and 29 seconds. 7 minutes and 29 seconds. Now I'm going to call the Deputy Leader of Opposition, Mr. President.
Two things that need to be proven by the members of the House if they want to lead this debate. The first is clear up justification. Why it is justifiable to do preemptive strike to North Korea when the threat is not that tangible? Because Iran even also say they want to attack Israel, also attack the US based in Europe. But under their logic, it means that they also want also urgent to attack Iran, right? Because we think that the threat is not that severe, it's not that tangible. So the first justification. But secondly, we think that this bench is afraid to play with any other scenario. Only us who try to get with scenario of winning, scenario of losing, scenario of fighting nuclear, scenario of not fighting nuclear. Because we think that playing scenario is important to draw how our foreign policy would satisfy domestic people, but also would satisfy international relations with our ally in global political constellation. And two points of this point to tackle their argument. First of all, in the point how basically this strike would not get the support from our society and would also be implementing us. We already know how Obama weighs, because if they try to use this attack, it means that they betray what actually Obama will change and our engagement with the Democrats in current conditions. They want to analyze how right now Obama trying to shift the points of diplomacy rather than using a military attack, for example. How we pull out the troops from Iran and Afghanistan and bring more engagement with our broad states such as Myanmar, ladies and gentlemen. Because it would be so funny if Obama several years ago getting a Nobel Peace Prize, but this year Obama attacked North Korea and contradicting the Peace Prize that they got at the first place. It's not that Obama's foreign policy is not both sides war. Because we think that both sides war is they still in the form of economic legitimation. How you see the Republican is not being elected in the elections even 2 times because the Republican have the way to war is insisting to war, ladies and gentlemen. So to our society dislike the ideology of war that brings the Republican. So they don't choose Republicans 2 times in a row. Secondly, we also believe that constructive engagement is the way to go, and it's not impossible to be implemented with North Korea because we already faced the same problems with Soviet Union, ladies and gentlemen. When we had the problem with the Soviet Union, it's also a Cold War. But who say that we cannot have engagement with Soviet? We already find the way with Soviet. How there is a SRT, Soviet American Arms Reduction Treaty, right? It's not clear how the security engagement is there, ladies and gentlemen. And what we should do is to proclaim our second part of the talk. If they bring the international society in security, yes, we admit society want security, but most of the society want is security in war manner. So if we don't want to get the security in the manner of war, losing a lot of people, a lot of generation just because of war. No, thank you. Second point of response. How they say that North Korea has having a bargaining power that they will be choose. We think that the point to make this bargaining power relies so much
possibility that North Korea is really doing a side war. Well, we question them, right? But the recent development in how, for example, even North Korea launched its third strike towards South Korea, therefore is to be more sanctioned. Also, about the attack in 2011, when it's ultimately attack towards South Korean base, how exactly is not an escalation and exacerbation of the threat from South Korea? How exactly is not a premonition for war that they're talking about? Moreover, if they say that they are doing a side war and it's really empty threat, then again, when they say that we have no possibility of winning is totally contradictory to each other, right? Because if they are so not having this kind of threat, if they are so reliant on the personal power of Kim Jong-un, then whatever intervention that we make, what will happen is that we will topple down Kim Jong-un government, that you know, the pressure towards the people, and there will be no retaliation, right? Because they say there's no threat whatsoever. So we don't think that their policy even actually going hand in hand with what is the contemporary development in South Korea and North Korea right now. And we thank the opening government for opening our case why it's actually dangerous for North Korea to attack. We're going to go into more extensive matter of why, first of all, that in contemporary situation right now, we have a preemptive strike is the necessary way to prevent the massive devastation. And also because we believe that right now, South Korea and North Korea have failed in the goal of ceasefire and trying to break the ceasefire. Because we're not talking about countries that are completely unrelated to this event. There's only been a ceasefire agreement between South Korea by proxy of the US and North Korea. It means that these two countries are still technically at war with each other. It means what we are doing is obviously breaking ceasefire. So we diminish our losses and we defeat our opponent. We think that giving them enough chances, therefore we need to define this and we justify the idea for ethnic strike. More on some points they raise this debate, right? First, on the possibility of winning. They think what will happen is open war on Korean soil with North Korea. Now, first of all, that won't be likely to happen because what will happen first is, of course, we have covert operation in order to attack building installations. As my opening has said, right? Want to disable them first so that they cannot attack back. We therefore reduce the amount of casualties. But moreover, we believe that when they say this is a threat of war, we think that the open war is not our last resort, right? If there is open war, we still have South Korea, which is our ally in that region. So we don't think it's that much of a stretch to say that the US will win that war because of the US military superiority. The US has never lost a war in Africa, even Afghanistan and Iraq was a success to some extent. Now, moreover, on the second rebuttal is on the idea that they say that there will be possibilities just empty threats or just will be wasting our money. Now, first of all, we think that again, this happens that there is probably not an empty threat. But moreover, even if it's an empty threat, even if they're simply talking bullshit from Kim Jong-un's arms, we believe in this case what we're trying to do is again make the momentum that we need in order to change the demographic and the politics between Africa and North Korea, right? Because what we're doing is diffusing the situation so that at least what we do, what we achieve is something tangible, right? Not only merely promises, not only negotiations, but something tangible towards North Korean government, which we that a lot of people are suffering. That goes into the rebuttal, right? Instead, there's a threat of becoming a failed state. This will not happen. Because first of all, North Korea is not like Iraq. Iraq was an ethnic religious conflict. There's no conflict here. It's people getting oppressed by the government and people buying into government propaganda. And what we want to do there is something to expose them to information, to expose them to ideal referendum and democratic election. That's what we do in Africa. The opposition will be formed. There's actually a form of opposition. In Egypt, for example, when Muslims were become the opposition after we have made the topple down of the Mubarak regime. But moreover, when we talk about economy, we say that North Korea is really in a worse economic state now because government implemented an isolationist policy, right? They basically open those famine. They basically ask them to stop economic trade. So at least when we create a referendum, the Indian government will open trade and North Korea can sell its stuff overseas, which is what government they're trying to do legislation. So maybe there's no economic threat whatsoever. It will going to be improved if you have an Indian government and even democratic election. You think that open has no grounds in this debate? No, thank you. Now I'll go to my arguments, right? First of all, that in the context and practical level, we believe it's necessary for us to try to first perfect the idea of massive devastation. There are two things we need to establish. First of all, that there is a possibility that's very high that they will attack us. With this actually true, right? Because of three reasons. First of all, there is a highly increasing trend towards hostility demonstrated by North Korea. Even when how, for example, they attack the base of South Korea. Again, they do not attack people's military bases. That's why they kill, for example, fishermen in those bases. they are destroyed by the nuclear testing. But moreover, what we are seeing is that they have a desperate regime just facing unrest from its people. Because this regime is tired of this, the people are tired of this regime, giving them into the massive oppression that they for so long. They are being poor people, right? So we believe that this oppression of the movement to attack someone, if not, we will lose the trust of its people. Because the only thing that the Koreans can have is, of course, empathy to the state. And we think that this is going to be solved without political pressure.
You are wrong, because even no one country in the world knows where is the strongest military base of North Korea. It's still secret of all, right? So you don't think you will be able.
US has drones, US has an extensive satellite network. If we dismantle the matter of technicality, if these techniques get solved, then we can do this proposal. But more, why US must attack first, right? There's a huge possibility of attack. Because we cannot risk if they decide to attack first. Because if the police attack first, we can ensure to disable and disarm their bases, right? We can disarm their own military, right? But moreover, what we ensure is that they're not in their space, right? Because when you have a corner nation that's pretty desperate, what we'll do, for example, we will do any kind of attack just to buy time, right? Just to buy time so that they can get concession from the US government. We don't want this to happen, right? We want there to be at least the insurance that when we attack, there's a huge possibility that they'll respect, right? Value, right? They'll respect it as by their law. Because they feel like they attack first, they will not do that. We think we cannot risk the fact that they attack first. Second argument would be why you think that it's dangerous to ceasefire. Again, it's actually not a war, it's actually a war per se. And we believe it's a scope, for example, we have given them a lot of chances, right? Ceasefire, and hope that if we leave them alone, they will reform the society, they will take peace towards South Korea. But this does not happen. Even basically, what we see is that even when we change of leader from Kim Il-sung to Kim Jong-un, we have not changed their policy of hostility, and even right now they're doing a massive preparation for war, right? So it means they're going to break the ceasefire. And what we do when it's an attempt to break the ceasefire is we ensure that in that war, we are able to protect the most society as possible. We are able to protect the most vulnerable society, of course. It's not only people of South Korea, but also the people of Korea themselves. It's our goal as government and obligation as a government to protect the United States of America.
Please maintain silence throughout the debate.
Members,
Thank you.
7 minutes and 36 seconds. 7 minutes and 36 seconds. Now I would like to call the opposition member, Mr. Ong.
Madam Chair, starting war is not about winning or losing, but it's about people's life that is sacrificed, that died because their actions and didn't secure and being not protected by the US government and also North Korea itself. What the lattices of opening bans is that they're talking much how big the percentage of these US and North Korea. We'll talk more about the impact on it. The previous speaker lead the biggest talk point of debate, number one, which proposal that give beneficial upon US government, not North Korean government and society, because there is talk in US, right? And number two, how the long-lasting conflict will face US when they start to attack preemptively to North Korea. That is adjustment. Before I go to my substantive, I have 3 points of response. First of all, when they talk about constructive engagement, the basic reason why constructive engagement is better is number one, in respecting the perspective of these stubborn countries, North Korea, ladies and gentlemen, because they are seeing the same table, the open discussion, they know they're receiving the idea of North Korea, they know what the needs and expectation of the North Korea and South Korea, and in the end, the North Korea also have an understanding upon every needs and also one that's North Korea itself. And number two, what's better? Because it's unified the expectation of both countries. That's why the idea of North Korea 6 party are also progressive right now. What progressive? Because since 2009, we also start open economic transaction between North Korea and South Korea. That's a really provenly great progress. Ladies and gentlemen, really rare in autocratic countries that they want to open economic transaction relationship between their neighbor countries, South Korea. I think these progress and access where their side is only harming the progress. Even right now, there's also a time to unify the Korean Peninsula becomes the one country because they also have one dream, one color value, and they also have one interest to begin with. And their action to attack North Korea will only harm these actions, Mr. Speaker. Number two, when they talk about involving South Korea as ally also beneficial for USA, that's the biggest harm they never explain about. Because we think that when the idea of open war is the possibility to make countries grab support as much as possible, ladies and gentlemen. Remember the World War I and World opposition, I still have two ideas, right? Number one, how is trigger hidden anger upon North Korea and resulted in irrational and also unpredicted action coming from North Korea. And second of all, how is not beneficial when you ask when it comes to open war into the level of US soldiers and also international cooperation, exclusively fast from closing oppositions. First of all, that how is trigger hidden anger upon North Korea, right? Because we don't know how the opening bets as likenesses to analysis of how powerful North Korea is. We think that how North Korea is the biggest military reserve in the world with more than 20
government is pretty clear. We have included the recent and contemporary development of the cases in the Korean Peninsula. We included that in our analysis, and then we also analyzed the nature of ceasefire that has been betrayed by the North Korea. That is why it is justified for us to do different action. Then we also have proven to you why it's going to be effective, and then why not attacking her would be a harmful strategy. But before that, let me respond to the cases of the opposition bench. First of all, what they say is that about the Taiwan thing is, first of all, we see that we can differentiate between, Taiwan. We cannot really differentiate between Taiwan and not. What we can see in the trend, right? If we see an increasing trend in the frequency, in the intensity, in the content of the trend itself, then we can analyze whether this is an empty cycle or if there is something even dangerous in this kind of trend. And we see how in the last time there is a third attack conducted by the North Korea. And also this month, there is a cyber hacking of the server and broadcaster in South Korea. And just yesterday, they launched fresh threat to the United States and the South Korea through their own official broadcast agency, something that never happened before. This shows to you how there is a trend in increasing frequency and intensity of their threat. That is why we believe it's justified for us to assume that this trend is not as active as it had been before. Second of all, we also see that there is no improvement after the regime change. We have been waiting for too long for Kim Jong-il changes, and now that Kim Jong-il has been replaced with Kim Jong-un, instead of an improvement, we see ever more hostile reaction towards the United States involved to each other. We believe after sanction, even after IAEA warning towards them, we believe that they still doesn't abide by the IAEA and United Nations regulations to disarm their nuclear weapon. We believe that this is something that we can also use as a justified reason why we should consider them as an imminent danger. But before that, moving on to the cases of the closing opposition, why not constructive engagement? Because they seem to glorify this kind of thing. Based on what? Based on, first of all, progress. What kind of progress that I talk about here? Economic transaction between North Korea and South Korea, which will be something really ridiculous. Because first of all, it doesn't happen because they are behaving and very good. Second of all, even the stance of the North Korea itself, if they stated themselves as an isolated state, they do not want to depend on this kind of economic transaction with any other country that they deem as, especially from Korea. We do not believe such progress happening. Even after Kim Jong-un is becoming the presidency, we believe the seven-party talk has been halted. The progress is none. We believe that we should not believe on the constructive engagement any longer. And even when we say something about what about the power of North Korea, we have to estimate their power. Well, there's a big contradiction over here because in the first place, the opposition say that they are weak, they are not able to do the attack and so on. But suddenly, the closing opposition is very afraid that they are really strong, that they can create devastating impact when they attack. We believe that there is already competition between those benches. But what we believe is that how we estimate the power of Korea itself, we believe we can estimate the power. The United States have the strategy and have the military capability and intelligence. With their intelligence, we believe they can estimate the real power of North Korea itself. Not to mention, they are